If you suddenly walk in a room and you felt like everyone's eyes were on you, and then you suddenly began to shrink back down, then this is a video for you. These two reasons I'm going to tell you are going to be things that many introverted men like me and you face on a daily basis, whether we're at a party, at work, or even at home with our family and friends, people that we're comfortable with. But these two reasons may be the one thing that are holding us back. And maybe you can relate to them, right? And these may be the truth that you probably don't want to admit. Now, introverted men, probably like yourself, are disciplined in private, but you're timid in public. What do I mean by that? First, let me get into discipline in private. Maybe you go to the gym, you get your workout in, maybe you grind out, eat healthy, communicate, right? Similar to how I'm doing on camera, me talking to you on camera. That's what you do as well. You're something like that, content creator. And it's easy for you to communicate online more or through writing than it is in person. But once you go out with your friends, once you go out into public settings, once you get surrounded around a group of people who you may or may not know, or even your family and friends, you may feel kind of uncomfortable because that's not how you normally do things. That's not what makes you comfortable, right? And then you suddenly begin to kind of shrink down and feel like, or start becoming more hyper aware of everyone's perception of you, their actions, analyzing the way they speak, analyzing are they actually looking at you? Are they judging based on you just sitting there doing nothing, right? Introverted men feel out of alignment with their private identity in public, meaning that you probably change the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you talk, just because you're in public, right? Maybe you have dry humor, like myself, making dry humor jokes, and you just kind of cut that out completely because you're afraid of what people would think about you. You're afraid of how they will judge you. You're afraid of just everything, right? And this kind of creates a self-conscious rotation of you, being conscious of everything you do, just holding back from the value that you could bring to the conversation, holding back from value that you can provide in others just because you are afraid of what they would say. You are afraid of how they will act. You are afraid of their perceptions of you. When in the end, they may not even remember who you are after that party, after that meeting, after that get together. But yet you still so internal to a point where you feel like, oh, let me say the right thing, so maybe they won't judge me, right? Don't be that person. The fear isn't the fact that you are afraid of people, right? You're not afraid of people, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully not. The fear that you're afraid of is being exposed as being different from others. So you try to be as normal as possible and be like everyone else because you don't want to be seen as different than others, right? Now, the second reason is maybe you just are overloaded with stimulation. The noises, the people speaking, the people moving, the people talking to each other, making jokes, laughing. You're just in the corner, maybe drinking your Modelo, maybe your Yelang, Forest Light, whatever, just in the corner drinking, maybe talking to a friend or just by yourself, going through your phone, maybe check your social media, maybe checking your emails, and that's it, right? And your brain goes into hyper awareness mode once you notice that stuff because you analyze every movement that goes on, scanning for judgment, scanning for people looking at you, judging you. Like, let's say there was a conversation happening and someone makes a joke, they laugh and they look at you. And then you just suddenly start thinking, oh, what happened? Why are they talking about me for? Right? And that's the bad thing about it because they're not talking about you. You just over judgmental of yourself. You're highly critical of yourself. Well, you don't need to be like that. The one thing I want you to get from this is acting afraid in public doesn't mean that you're afraid. What it means is that you're not comfortable with yourself, right? You're not comfortable with what's inside your heart. And It's either one of these two reasons. Either your identity misalignment, who you are in private doesn't match with who you think you are in public, or you just nervous system overload. There's too much stuff going on to the point where you feel overloaded, right? And most introverted men never fix it because they keep avoiding the setting of that problem, of that situation. But all you need to do is master yourself, and that's it.